The year is 1980. Tensions are at a boiling point between the US and the USSR after a thermonuclear blast eviscerates a small US Air Force base in the rural town of Damascus, Arkansas. The US are swift to respond, firing a retaliatory strike at the USSR, which is dismissed by a Soviet officer as a false positive by their early detection satellites. As the American Titan II missiles plow through the Soviet countryside, the USSR is only able to mount a meager counterattack from remote satellite locations before it is completely wiped off the face of the Earth. China and France, in light of this sudden and terrifying American aggression, launched strikes of their own against the US. And after a short but intense series of reprisals, the world is razed to the ground by nuclear-armed fire and human civilization along with it. Yet mankind is not doomed. During the Cold War, the great, the good, and the gilded invested heavily in next-generation bomb shelters, enormous self-sustaining subterranean cryogenic compounds designed to preserve life until the outside world becomes habitable again. Compounds which, due to cost-cutting business measures in the name of competition and industrial espionage, failed to work entirely. Coolers. Bathed in lethal radiation, the greatest minds of the 20th century and all living memory of culture, technology, and agriculture are lost. While on the surface, the very hardiest specimens of humanity cling to life, survive, then thrive. From the ashes, a new world emerges. An ersatz post-apocalyptic stillborn 80s continues indefinitely, populated entirely by the toughest, meanest, and outright dumbest of God's creations, the wasters. Years later, however many nobody can say, even those who can count, the barren desert landscape of the western wastes is host to bitter factionalized warfare. The wasters fight tooth and nail over the most precious of natural resources, a liquid from beneath the sands that fuels all of uncivilization. Buried deep within the cooler's chambers, the very radiation that killed off society's chosen few imbued their potable provisions with a sick green glow and a radioactive buzz. Booze, it affectionately came to be known, and those dumb enough to weather its taste found themselves taking a sharp detour off the human evolutionary highway, mutating in strange and confounding ways, and acquiring both permanent brain damage and a ravenous addiction to the stuff. Against this backdrop of organized chaos, the wasters scrabble in the dirt looking for just a drop of the good stuff, and the right guy in the wrong place at the right time with the wrong drink could be a major headache for those who seek power.
New boys, rip and shred!
Hands where we can see him. Hate to break it to you, but you've just wandered your way into becoming the new boys' first big score.
Yeah, new boys, rip and shred!
Nothing personal, it's just how things work out here in the Western Wastes.
You do know how things work in the Western Wastes, don't you? You sure about that? You know, these Western Wastes are a little more complicated than other wastes.
Yeah, I mean, there's the shooting, which is more or less the same everywhere.
But there's probably a lot of strange mechanics you might want to familiarize yourself with before you venture out.
Yeah, doesn't hurt to know a mechanic, especially with that Angeles traffic.
You sure you want to cut the crap and get straight to it? Well, crap. We're severely outmatched, new boys. Retreat! Retreat!
Welcome to the Own Zone! wheel, piggy!
to the ozone!
Show me your gun. Murder time. Let's dance. Let's dance. It's murder time!
Wheel!
Time to bleed. Let's dance. Murder.
Time to turn you to paste!
You're all dead.
Nerd! Booga booga!
Dingus, mind putting that thing away? I ain't here to maim you. Just here on road courier business. If a problem comes along, you must ship it. Not ringing any bells? Geez, I'd ask if you've been living under a rock, but, considering the venue of our little conversation, well, we road couriers are the big movers and shakers here in the Western Wastes. Movers, mostly. Shaking's more or less stopped since even the raiders have learned better than to hit our caravans. Pickups, deliveries, you name it. Anything needs moving from one garbage pit to another, you can count on the couriers. Well, let's see here. Looks like you ain't signed up for our delivery service. Tell you what, though. Come visit us up at the Oni Express. Just, head towards Sacramento and follow the smell of booze. You'll find it in no time. Guy there will set you right up. Anyways, I'm already behind on my deliveries, so I gotta skedaddle. Remember, the Oni Express up in Sacramento. Can't miss it. See you later, Waster.
Hold it right there, Waster. This here's the Oni Express, one of the last safe havens out in the western wastes. And me and my friends up here intend to keep it that way, so keep your head out of trouble, and we'll let you keep it all in one piece. Comprende?
The SOB need to take a chill pill.
If a problem comes along, you must ship it. Welcome to the road cruise. Sure. Say you got a thing, and you need this thing somewhere else. We're the guys for that. That's what we do. The way we see it, stuff's like a fart. You can keep it to yourself like some fart miser, sure. But it's way more fun when it shows up in places it don't belong. Like, imagine you got a nice gun at home. Put it on a coffee table, liven up your living room a bit, that's cool. But imagine that same gun, except it's in the middle of freaking nowhere, just dust everywhere, like the barrel of the gun peeking up from beneath the sands. Freaking hilarious. We can do that. Sure, but like, get this. Say you're knees deep in a cooler run. SOB hot on your tail, you've been shot in the face, your arms are leaking, and your pants are covered in your moments before death shits. And then you just take them off and shove them in a courier box. SOB doesn't know what the heck is happening, but guns you down anyways. Bang! You're dead. Next day, your significant other's at home. Doesn't even know you've been wasted. And then out of nowhere, bing bong, special delivery! Guess what it is? It's pants! Covered in the crap of their dead lover. Priceless. See, that's what we do. We move your stuff from one place to another. But you gotta put them in the courier boxes. That's how the magic happens. Just put things in one of those big blue boxes of badness and we take them to any other courier box, pro bono. Totally righteous. Really looking forward to hauling all of your crap in.
It's a real dog-eat-dog world out there, so I prefer to stay inside.
Greetings, waste of life? Is that the right one? Did I use the right term? The kids today with the slang and so forth. It's distressing and unfamiliar.
It is the parlance of a rambunctious youth with little regard for tradition.
Yes. Anyhow, I'm Dick and this is Kissinger.
A pleasure.
Nicknames. Reluctantly, I assure you. Please don't busy yourself with the mental strain of figuring out why. It's never made any sense to me either. I suppose the scumlords, the gangs, the no-good nicks and the like, they despise success. You know, there's a cabal out to get me.
There are people as yet in their cultural and mental infancy.
Agreed. It's thrilling, of course, to see another young, violent drunkard in our midst. And I sincerely hope we can be of service to you. Oh, no need to be concerned. We're not like these hucksters and charlatans. They'd take a man's last sheep from right out of his cheeks. No, we have more than enough TP to be comfortable for the rest of our lives.
It is confirmed as 3-ply.
Magnificent stuff, like the tongues of angels. You really ought to try it. But that's besides the point. In our advanced age, I suppose we're some variety of consultant. We simply offer our expertise, our knowledge, our support. You know what they say? 2 heads are better than one.
Discounting, of course, moments nocturnal when a man seeks to relive certain urges.
Well, our new friend here has little interest in such matters. So, how may we help you? You know, Kissinger hates it when I use the M-word. But in my teens, it wasn't like it is now. Barely any radiation at all these days. In my teens, I was exposed to an awful lot of radiation. Wasn't uncommon at all to see all manner of mutants. Anyway, Kissinger started to sprout from me down there. And not to put too fine a point on it, but I was of an age where I was about to become best friends with that area anyway. So things worked out pretty well.
Some more so than others.
You know, I am something of a man of the world. Well, a small part of it. But I've accrued enough mileage in my life to know a thing or two about a thing or two.
In case you are enumerate, that is a potential maximum of 4 things.
What would you like to know, lowly lowlife? Well, from what little I've heard, it was built by or for the use of doctors. Smart fellows, to be sure, but useless eggheads to a man.
The title impresses me little.
When one is stripped of accolades, accomplishments, guns, vile haircuts, and whatnot. What he does then, that is the true measure of a man. Well, sorry, I seem to be striking the wrong tone for such an occasion. Some environmental contaminant, no doubt their own doing, meddling quacks, seems to have turned whoever was inside into some manner of mindless, violent beast. Now, of course, in the place and time we find ourselves in, this is not altogether unusual. However, these people, they scratch and bite.
They are reduced to primitives.
Quite so. Ruddy mans, the kids call them. You'll be pleased to know that they can operate a firearm. Again, not unexpected for these lily-livered intellectual types. But the scratching and the biting and what have you, it smarts to be sure, but it's also highly infectious.
Such unpleasantness is usually best dealt with from afar.
I wouldn't recommend tangling with them directly. Do the American thing and shoot them indiscriminately. Or employ devious cunning.
There is an issue I wish to speak about with you in private. Dick, if you please, I must touch upon sensitive issues with our associate.
Oh, certainly. Just let me know when you're done. Give me the signal. You know the sort.
Please, come a little closer. Prying eyes turn up in places most unexpected in modern times. There is an issue that drives a wedge between myself and my companion Dick. Dick remains blessed well into his advanced age with a head full of hair. Such blessings have not extended to me, and I have become as bald as the day I was mutated. A situation I wish to remedy but have not the personal means. Appearances count for much in such a vile and reprehensible time and place. My presentation presents a disunited front and I appear as the junior partner in our enterprise. An unfair and frustrating position given the extent of my input. I do not wish to shrink into insignificance in Dick's shadow. I intend to go hard as it is said by the youngsters in my capacity as a professional. To do so, it has become apparent that I require a prosthetic. Relieve 25 residents of the wasteland of their scalps. That would seem an adequate supply of hair. Return to me upon completion of this task and you shall be appropriately rewarded.
The SOB need to take a chill pill.
Oh, Azuka. Oh. Help me? Not unless you've concocted a potion to quell a broken heart. Oh, my precious Azuka. It must have been the other day. My wife and unwavering companion, Azuka, and I were scavenging for supplies in the cooler when we bumped into an errant SOB patrol. Well, the SOBs don't recognize relationships such as the one Azuka and I share, and their doctrine teaches them to purge our kind from the wastes. Needless to say, a firefight erupted, and though it seemed like our superior tactical weaponry would win out at the end, a modification I applied to one of my weapon systems caused it to jam.
leaving me defenseless and vulnerable. In my panic, I fled as fast as I could from the fight, weaving in and out of weapon fire. I looked behind me, but Azuka wasn't there. Please, if you could help me find Azuka, I would forever be in your debt. Oh, bless your heart, kind waster. You're one of the good ones. As I said before, I last saw Azuka in the cooler. We were down in the dormitories, searching the dressers for some sexy underwear for me to dress her up in when the SOBs attacked. Azuka is immensely beautiful, but she is also very meek and utterly helpless without me, so she will not have strayed far from where I left her. Azuka's beauty is unmistakable. She is a truly perfect specimen. Her blemishless face, pale white skin, like fine porcelain, as if untouched by the oppressive sun that beats down upon the wastes, and yet fully bared to the elements. Well, not fully bared. Her Type C bikini armor provides ample protection to her vital organs, such as her bosom, womb, and feet. Of course, I had to custom tailor the armor myself, since it was impossible to find armor that would fit her massive breastial and posterior proportions. Even still, the armor just barely fits, and if you peek at her from just the right angle, you can catch a glimpse of the areola, like an unexpected sunrise peeking out from beyond her elephantine twin peaks. Please, I must be reunited with my Azuka. I simply can't continue my life in the waste without her.
Rather be killing than chilling.